Okay, we're in 4th position. There's a Baron available. Helena, Tessia, good cards. I'm going to go with Helena. And the reason I'm going to go with Helena, there's a Sayyadina, a Full-Scale Assault, and a Liet Kynes. It's very good cards. The other reason is that there's a Holtzman engine, which is a fantastic Helena technology, and a Spy Satellites. So the Spy Satellites means you don't really have to play Baron or Tessia to win this game. And because Baron and Tessia are in the pool, they're both guaranteed to be in the game, which means that there's 2 players that aren't going to want to prioritize Spy Satellites. So there's 1 person I'm going to be racing for Spy Satellites, so the odds of me getting it are pretty good, I think. Third position, you don't see that too often. I say they're guaranteed to be in the game. Julio will definitely pick one of them because he's a ladder player and he's going to do the optimal thing. But Noob, who I'm not familiar with, could do whatever. Who knows what a guy named Noob might do. Okay, so yeah, Baron and Tessie are both going to be in the game. Not a surprise. Julio will not pass on Tessia here, is my prediction. That's correct, yeah. There's 3 high priority cards here. Full Scale Assault is the strongest of the 3. Sayyadina can make a ton of points and works really well with Kynes. Kynes being accessible and really strong. So I can't block all of them. In fact, I could probably only block 1 or maybe 2. The Full Scale Assault is going to take a while to be available. No ring is not good. We really wanted our ring this round. But ring next round means that we can probably get the Full Scale Assault. Especially if we get Still Suits. Hardy Warriors is the top priority, but I don't think I'll be able to get it with Baron in the game. Because this is such a good combat. I found that when I go for this combat round 1, and I win it, like Hardy Warriors, I usually win the game. And yeah, Julio makes the correct play here. It's very annoying, but I can respect it. We can tech negotiate. That works us towards our technologies. If we tech negotiate plus seek allies, we do have enough for Kynes. We also have the ability to go Wealth Men Tap, but with a row this good, I don't know if that's necessary. Tessie is in the lead, that's for sure. We gotta control that. And Baron didn't go Fold Space, so Baron's not going to be contesting her, which is really frustrating. She's going to have Interstellar Shipping, like, round 2. Uncontested. I can go Fold Space. I don't really want to go Fold Space, but, if Yuna doesn't... If Yuna doesn't do anything, then I'll have to do that. We'll see. I mean, really, it's Fold Space or Still Suits here. I think Wealth Mentat is the wrong play. Okay, cool. Yuna goes Fold Space, so I get to go Still Suits. That opens the research station into full-scale assault play for next round. The problem here is that even if I get to 5 persuasion, the odds of me getting Kynes are very bad. There's 3 people revealing ahead of me, and it's looking like Tessia is going to get her. Otherwise, why would you go to tech negotiation? Maybe she's doing it to get to Sayyadina. Either way, it's bad for me, because I can't let Tessia have either of those cards. But these players aren't going to reveal early, so it just is what it is. The good news is Baron's not participating in the combat, so I'm going to get at least 2 Solari out of it. If I have 5 Persuasion and Kynes and Sayyadina are both gone, I don't know what I would buy. It's kind of hard to say. I could reveal early for the Sayyadina just to keep it away from Tessia, but I think Tessia is going for Kynes, so that doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I think it's better just to play Tech Negotiation. There's a lot of good 5-costers out there, so, you know, we'll see. Yeah, she gets to 5. Very frustrating, but that's just the way Tessia is. There's just not a lot you can do about it sometimes. I suppose I could have gone first action Tech Negotiation, and then not played my Seek Allies and then early revealed for Kynes, but that's like... That's hurting myself so badly just to try to hurt Tessia. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Baron doesn't get the Sayyadina, which is interesting. But Yuna will. Oh, no, Yuna's going to let me have it. Okay. Maybe she's just taking liaisons to keep them away from Tessia. Well, we definitely take the Sayyadina. Oh, Web of Power. That's so annoying. Okay. Let's do that. Let's take, you know, Sayyadina, a liaison. That helps get the Fremen bond. And we are also depleting Fremen cards away from Tessia. There's only 4 left over. And she's revealing last next round, most likely, so hopefully we can get her to only buying like 1 or 2 liaisons. We don't have to research station here. These cards are similar in value. And the Web of Power is more likely to be a problem if another player gets it. Like, these guys aren't really threatening... they're not really threatening full-scale assault. So Ring is better used for Web of Power here. At 3 Solari, we should be able to reliably get our Swordmaster next round. I say reliably. With a little bit of luck, we should be able to get our Swordmaster next round. We could also go to Great Flat. That takes us to 4 Spice. That's 6. We could buy a Holtzman engine. It's not a terrible idea, actually. Around 2 Holtzman. Only problem is it really doesn't work us anywhere close to our Swordmaster. But we'd be getting a Web of Power. We definitely want to play our Ring first action. We don't want to let, like, Baron reveal early for it. I don't know. I mean, it depends on if smuggling's available, right? Like, if smuggling's not available, it doesn't matter. Carthag is kind of a weird one. I'm only putting 2 troops in, too. I don't know what he's trying to do. The problem is we can't really stop Tessia here from getting the... If she's got diplomacy in hand, so even if like Yuna goes to fold space, Tessia will use her ring. And then Yuna doesn't go to fold space, although I don't know if she has the capacity. Not good. Well, now fold space is available and smuggling is available, but the problem is, yeah, like, if I go fold space, Yuna just uses her ring, or Tessia just uses her ring. It doesn't really do anything besides get me up on them. So I can go to smuggling. Winning the combat would be better, but I'm not likely to do that. So, oh man, this is tough. We also need to play the diplomacy if we're going to use Web of Power. The spice will probably accumulate. Nobody else has water. I hate letting Tessia get the fold space, but, you know, I couldn't stop her. She has her ring. If she wants to get to Interstellar, she can. Yuna could have stopped her, but I could not have stopped her. Okay, so if we're going to get the Web of Power, we probably want to play the Diplomacy. Wealth would be interesting. If I go Wealth, I could just Wealth Swordmaster again next round. We also have a Sayyadina, so playing the Still Suits as often as possible probably makes more sense. And having 2 on Fremen would give us the ability to get more water when we play the Web of Power. Although we don't expect to play it for a while. Dagger, does Dagger do anything? Probably not. We don't need the Persuasion at all, so... Okay, we're not going Wealth. The other advantage of Still Suits is that it lets me get just a value troop in the combat for like another water. So I think it is Still Suits here. There's no Fremen cards in the row that I have to worry about. If I have... Well, I'm thinking about it, no. I mean, so Yuna's already taken 2 liaisons, and I've already taken 1. We do want to make sure she doesn't get Holtzman Engine. That's pretty important. So probably I have to prioritize Holtzman over Spy Satellites as a defensive move. Okay. That's annoying. And, like, I could take Diplomacy to like, BG, but that's the faction that we least need the influence on. I mean, it's really only Hardy Warriors and Secrets. And Hardy Warriors is moving us backwards. I'm not opposed to going to Secrets. It's just not what I want. We also don't want to trigger a Shuffle because that's going to put our weapon power further back. Tech Negotiation is a spice, a single spice, but not much else. I guess it allows us to buy an Imperial Spy. If it's even still available. I guess we have to go Secrets. Not bad. It's a reason to prioritize next round's combat because this will help fund our our techs that we need. Problem is, we're probably going to lose smuggling next round to Yuna. Yeah, we really need to Still Suits there. Still, 3 spice is 3 spice, and eventually we are going to win a combat. So, that's a pretty good payoff for going to Secrets, to be honest. The problem is Chesley's just running away with the game. If we can slow her roll, it'll be okay, but this is a player that's in the top 100. It's going to be hard to do that. Please buy a liaison. Buy a liaison. Buy at least 1 liaison. Thank you. Shifting allegiances is cool, and it could be a way to try to stop Tessia. Gurney, okay, there's our next target, most likely. I think Gurney's about the same value as full scale, but it costs less, so... yeah. Deck is Sayyadina, Liaison, Web of Power. We still want Fremen cards for the Sayyadina. So she gets 1 Liaison. There's 2 left over. So it seems plausible that we can deny her the remaining Liaisons. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to get smuggling because Yuna's gonna take these shipping bumps and gonna want to cash them out. Sucks, but it is what it is. The nice thing about Helena is that we can't really be screwed on turn order with Swordmaster. These spice spaces are getting really juicy. We need to start considering them. Because if we let other players have them, then those Holtzman Engine and Spy Satellites are going to go. Spaceport's like nothing, but the other ones matter. Okay, Guild Bank Raid. So, as long as we even place in this combat, realistically, we're going to be able to get our Swordmaster next round. We won it this round, but Yuna's going to take smuggling here, so it's not an option. The problem is Tessie is going to get 2 more rounds of shipping, because now it's Yuna's turn, right? So Tessie is going to smuggle this turn, and then she's going to smuggle on my turn. It's going to be ugly. Whip of Power will give me a bump with the guild, but I don't have a second bump. So, yeah, it's just going to be ugly. I think she's probably won the game at this point. We do have 9 Persuasion. That is really notable. Okay, the good news, at least, is that she doesn't take the smuggling. We really need more yellow than we have. But if we go Signet Ring here, Liaison here, we do get the first Swordmaster. So let's do that. So full-scale Assaulter Gurney. Assault goes to Emperor. And gives me a Dreadnought. Gurney is more likely to be taken by the other players, though. So we're currently at 8. We're going to go down when we play the Liaison to 6. This would still cost 7. So let's take Gurney. She can't really afford the Tex. I guess she's getting Holtzman. I mean, that makes sense. She's got Kynes. Yeah, okay. So we failed to stop her from getting that. The good news is it's going to take her a long time to get her Swordmaster. I say that. She gets to go to Alliance. It's not going to matter. I think the game is probably over by virtue of Tessia's existence. Problem here is if we play Sayyadina, then we can't actually afford Gurney. I think we end up having to play the Web of Power. Awkward. And with Web of Power, we don't really even want the Spy Satellites, so that's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. We could play Web of Power around Spy Satellites. It's not impossible. I don't feel like this Baron is played very well. His name seems accurate. But you never know. I mean, Baron's got a million tricks up his sleeve. Always. 4 intrigue cards, wow. Well, I'm definitely Web of Power stealing if you don't do something about that. Please go up with Guild, thank you. Dreadnought Spy Sats, okay. Interesting. No, Dreadnought Snoopers. Okay. Maybe we are going to get the Spy Sats. So yeah, if we play the Sayyadina, then we can't get Gurney. So we kind of have to play the Web of Power. It's fine. We're guaranteed to be able to play it. I just wish I could reveal it instead. But we're not going to get any of the agent actions from it. Or the agent box, I mean. There is an option of taking Sayyadina to Hardy Warriors if it looks like it'll win us the combat. Because getting the 3 spice out of it would make that worth it. And then we can still get the Web of Power. The problem is then we don't get the Gurney. So I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if that is worth it. Yeah. Baron has already resigned. I guess it looks like it's just GG Tessia at this point. At least there's not any Fremming cards in the row. That's like a bright side of this, I guess. It would be nice if Una bought a Liaison, but I don't think she's going to do that. Voice. Voice is pretty good. Yeah, just more intrigues is fine. Buys a Liaison. Ouch. Baron could have gotten Gurney. But that's why we took Gurney and not the full scale. He's just buying everything now. Well, that makes Bendu Suspension quite a bit better. I wonder if we can beat Una if we get that. I feel like probably not, but you never know. We do still have Research Station water. At least they didn't get first. They tied for second. But Tessie's going to get her Sword Master, which is like so bad for us. She might actually just get High Council, but I don't think so. I think Sword Master is what she's going to do. This is really juicy. We should probably make that our first choice. That's 4 spice for 0 water. It's a no-brainer. This combat rewards water for lower positions, so I'm going to go ahead and put a troop in. Spy stats are still available. Mnemic Film is also available. We don't want Tessia getting Mnemic Film, although she doesn't have the capacity yet. If we went to Research Station, we would draw 2 Persuasion, losing 1. We'd go up to 4. Plus something from here. It's not impossible, but our hand is not very high on Persuasion. We could just focus everything on BG and Fremen, and then get Spy Satellites for Guild and Emperor. Use Whip of Power to just climb up those tracks. I don't know. I don't know what the right play there is. You know, we probably ought to just Mentat. That's going to swap out a dagger for a card that's more likely to have Persuasion. I don't think these guys are going to get the Kwisatz. Tessia could if she draws right. Her liaison's in her discard pile, though. She does have Kinds in hand. And there's no risk if we go to 8. Like, if we go to 8 and someone takes Kwisatz, we still get the full scale. Which is pretty good. But if we take Dagger to Mentat, what we're not doing is we're not going to tech negotiation. But, you know, Unit clearly doesn't value the Spy Sats, which is why she went for Snoopers. So I don't think we have to rush it. Like, if she wanted Spy Sats, she'd have them by now. Mimic Film is important, though. And going Dagger to Mimic Film probably gives us more than going to Mentat, right? Because it's 1 persuasion from the space and 1 persuasion from the tech. So I think that actually is our play. Besides, if we want to stall, we can always just play Bendu. Do we want to go to Dreadnought now? Because we can go Dreadnought with Dagger. Awesome. We can go Dreadnought with Dagger. But that cost us Persuasion. Let's just do this. It takes us up to 5. Which means that with Bendu, we should be able to get to 8 off of Research Station. What is Film replaced with? Disposal? Disposal's not bad, but it's round 4 already, so I'm kind of not expecting it to do anything. So Baron doesn't play into combat, which means that we're guaranteed a water from this if we don't win, which we're not going to. But it's worth thinking about. If we Bendu and we draw the Convincing... I mean, nobody has 2 water, right? So what's the actual harm... What's the actual harm of passing our turn? I guess as it is right now, we are revealing before Tessia is. And that would change that. We would let Tessia reveal before us. Also, if we don't play our diplomacy, then we don't get... You know, we're further away from our other options. I mean, I think we Bendu and pass the turn. Let's recon Research Station. I think that's been the play. Cool. We get to 8, so we don't actually have to play the Bendu. I hate spending my water because I have a Sayyadina, but Sayyadina is worth Persuasion. Like, it's okay. Same as our last game that we uploaded. Like, if we don't actually use Sayyadina for a point, it's not that big a deal. The opportunity cost of 3 water is very high. Let's put it that way. Getting them a Mimic Film is really good because we need to keep it away from Tessia. Although, honestly, when she's got Kinds, does that really matter? Next turn we'll have our ring, so we can ring the full-scale assault if it survives. I really don't expect to win this Machinations, but I'm okay with 3rd. I really am. I do want to win a combat for this to the victor, but I haven't been able to get there. I guess that's one reason why we might consider full-scale assault. So Tessia does not participate in combat, which means that we're probably also getting Solari, which we can use to try to block her from High Council, potentially. Baron gets to 6. takes a liaison. Perfect. Perfect. Appropriate. That's interesting. Not as good as what else is available, but is good for Tessia, which is unfortunate. Now that we have Kwisatz, I think the value of spy stats is lower because we can just infiltrate faction spaces over and over again. Okay, Yuna's going to go ahead and win the combat. That's fine with me. Please do. And don't get me wrong, I want my 3 spice, but you know, it is what it is. Take Kwisatz. I don't know if it's too late for a disposal facility or not. I have to think that it probably is. Gets to 9. So he's just going to buy the Spice Must Flow. Yeah. So he revealed what? Kinds and 2 liaisons. 1, 2. Not good. I mean, yeah, we're gonna lose to Tessia. It's just a question of like, you know, can we make it slow and painful, or can we make it quick and efficient? Well, she will lose the Guild Alliance though, so we have some hope here. I mean, I'm just assuming Yuna's gonna take Guild here because of the way she's been playing. Why wouldn't you take Guild? Yeah. Problem is, Tessie can just shuffle those away and then pump them into their factions, so it's not even that much of a win. Like, normally it'd be like, oh no, Tessie invested in that, but not really. She's just gonna, yeah, use her ring twice and then she lost nothing. What a good hand. Dude. This leader rocks. We can use Signet Ring to take away some of the better cards, but the problem is Tessia doesn't want the good cards. Tessia just wants Spice Must Flows. Good news is, with her buying a Spice Must Flow in round 4, her deck is going to get janky really quick. Disposal, I mean, we have a full discard pile. Like, we could just go ahead and start trashing daggers and stuff. We want to win this combat, but there's some problems with that. We want to reveal the Web of Power. We don't want to play it. We want to play the ring. Problem is we don't have 2 Primin yet, so we can't go to Siege Tabor. This is almost like a Bendu suspension turn. We could Signet Ring to Disposal Facility. Start trashing the crap. We could Sayyadina to Selective Breeding. Try to draw into Kwisatz. Even though it's not a very good use of Sayyadina. Gurney will be available for a while. I mean, he's actually where Helena. He's always going to be available. We can try to use him as like a surprise. He also Mentat. I think I like Disposal here, actually. If I buy Dreadnought, that's going to make it a little easier to get this to the victor. Let's trash the Dune. Yunatet's gone. Let's try to use Gurney to win the combat. Yuna's Dreadnought's gone, so now's the time to do it. Probably want to open with Bindu, though, see what our options are. Because, like, who knows? Maybe our options are actually just, like, Kwisatz, right? So, the good news is we should definitely be able to get this trash off this round and then every round remaining. So let's start with Bindu. Do not want to pass our turn. Let's go ahead and... I hate paying Yuna, but let's go ahead and Gurney here. With Kwisatz, we just want to draw as much as humanly possible. We can actually afford the full scale. It's not like we don't have any influence on the Emperor anyway, so maybe we just go for full scale. And we just basically use this to hate on Tessia. She has practically no good cards in her deck besides Kynes. She's just trying to ride the point salad to victory. Which may be enough, you know? I mean... I don't think he's even triggered Master Stroke this game. We want to play the Diplomacy. Probably just default space. Yuna doesn't fight me, so that's good. We can play the Liaison, but I don't know that I want to. I mean, I want to be visiting Fremen, but I just don't need Hardy Warriors. It subtracts from my Sayyadina. So let's just grab the fold space. No Spice must flow, which is good, and no Fremen cards to buy. She'll get a negotiated withdrawal, but that's not that big a deal. Besides being 2 persuasion, obviously. And the good news is, well, not really. It's not good news. She's got Kynes that she's gonna draw next round. Baron, okay, Baron gets a full scale assault. Cool. I mean, not good for me, but it's fine. There goes Jamis. I don't know that I want that many more cards in my deck at this point. My deck is good. I kind of want to start shrinking it. Appropriate's 2 persuasion. And maybe it gives me something like it could. Maybe I could help me buy like a shuttle fleet or something. Shuttle fleet being available is something to consider. Doesn't put all in, which is good for me. Okay, so yeah, let's go up with Guild again. Because we have Kwisatz, so that's always going to be useful. Take the Appropriate. Advance. We get to trash. Dune. Withdraw is objectively not a bad card. I just don't want to put more stuff in my deck. But, I mean, it gives me a troop just for having it. Spice Hunter also goes to Fremen. And potentially pays me Spice. I mean, 1 troop, I don't know how much that's going to matter. Let's just do it. It might help us steal an alliance from Tessia. Okay, we got both Master Tacticians. Let's work our way up Fremen because we have a Sayyadina. And this will get visited. There's Kwisatz. And nothing else of value. That's okay. The rest of our deck is pretty rockin'. Baron pays me. So we kind of want to go to selective breeding when we get a chance. It's unfortunate to see this at the back half of the deck, but it is what it is. We don't have yellow, which sucks. Hopefully Una will take Interstellar, so we don't have to... Yeah. That we can do if that's what happens. I think Mentat is actually pretty solid here. We don't want Spy Sats at this point. That time for that is past. Now, Shuttle Fleet, though, could be good. What can we do with Shuttle Fleet? Goes take us up on Emperor. That's not necessary, Una. She's not going to take that from you. Takes us up on Fremen, probably. Emperor Fremen, I think. Not bad. Just the opportunity cost is selective breeding. I think we just open Mentat here. And we do want to get to 6 persuasion again, although that shouldn't be hard to do. We have to worry about the Fremen and BG alliances. Maybe we should just take Fremen and BG with Shuttle Fleet. Just try to lock things away from Tessia. Or maybe she's going to get the Shuttle Fleet. Yeah, it looks like it. Well, that's not good. Holo projectors is probably not that necessary. Helps us get to better hands, but yeah. Middle row of text is completely gone. Probably go down with Guild. Oh, she took the BG. But now she is stealable. She doesn't play a card. You gonna play a card, Una? Because I will steal from you otherwise. Okay, she does play it. Let's do this first. Okay. And we get to have the fold space, which is nice. We drew into our faction, which is what we were trying to do there, so it works. We need to prioritize hitting Fremen, though. Still Suits needs to be our next play, unless it gets taken. We're going to go so late in the round that we can pretty much determine whether or not we're going to win the combat. Probably better to save the Master Tacticians for next round. Good news is we'll have our Dreadnought back next round as well. We have 3 Spice. We want to get to Highlander range. We could do it from smuggling. Or we'd get to 5, but close enough that we could get to Highlander next round if we really wanted to. So unlikely that anyone else is going to get there. Bad news, but at least she didn't go Still Suits. She has no water, so if we go Still Suits, she can't go Hardy Warriors. Baron's not in the combat. Tessia probably won't be. 1 troop for 4 is not bad. The problem is that because we have this negotiate withdraw, we kind of would rather keep the troops, especially if it makes a difference between us taking the Fremen or BG alliances. Don't go Still Suits. Don't do it. Don't do it, Yuna. You blocked me last time. Don't do it. She's really thinking about her move. I don't know what she's considering, but she's thinking hard about it. Smuggling. Okay. Gurney. That's interesting. We probably want to play Gurney just because he's Gurney. But if we do play him, we risk drawing into Sayyadina. Let's hope to God that he doesn't draw Corner of the Market. If we take Gurney to Arakim, we probably still can afford a Spice Must Flow. Or we could just straight up win the combat. Seven. So it's more difficult to do that. But we could use a Master Tactician. It's a good card, but probably too late for that. So we could also Diplomacy to Hardy Warriors. And that would allow us... Still the Spice Must Flow, but it would also keep the Alliance out of Tessia's hands. We're going to act before Tessia next round. And we could just play Sayyadina there. So we don't really have to worry so much about that. So I think we do play Gurney. Gurney to Arakim guarantees the Spice Must Flow. but it risks us drawing the Sayyadina. This is the safer play. You also gurney to here. Let's do this. We don't really need 2 cards, right? The problem is, there's only 1 card in this. No, there's 2 cards that wouldn't. Yeah, okay. Let's just do Erythine. Let's not overthink it. We have another action, so if we draw it, it's not that big a deal. Beforehand, we can retreat out with withdraw. Web of Power. So we're gonna get 2 bumps on reveal here. We have another action, too. Double cross. Okay. Back to us. We withdraw, we go down to 2. Double cross doesn't really make a difference. We're at 9. Go down to 2, we're at 3. Double cross takes us to 5. I mean, it's a point. Could go up with Emperor. I mean, since we know we're going to get the Sayyadina next turn, yeah, I think it is better to go to Emperor. And that ties us with her. It's a little awkward. Disposal. Trash a reconnaissance. Spice Must Flow dirties our deck a little bit. But even with the Spice Must Flow, it's still a pretty dang good deck. Master Tactician. Okay, so a Tactician only ties us here. We can play 2 and win, but that's pretty bad. Well, let's just take a second and be okay with it. Solari may come in useful after all. Ixiom Probe is helpful because it helps us potentially get to Kwisatz. First action's got to be Still Suits, I think. If we go Hardy, we can't actually afford to use Sayyadina. Now, Yuna does have shifting allegiances. It's in a discard pile, but we need to consider that as a way that she could steal it. She could also send her ring to Interstellar and do the same thing. So, yeah. Interstellar, but without her ring. Techs are not that good. I mean, Spaceport is pretty good actually, but yeah, we're kind of close to both those resources. We have 2 Master Tacticians, a Dreadnought. We only need to get second, so this is starting to look pretty good. Solari, which is good for me because it gives me a resource, and I need as much as I can. So. Gotta be this. Do not pass go, Tessia. Do not collect $200. Next, we probably want min tap. We're only 2 points away, so if we can get a Spice Must Flow plus second in the combat, that wins us the game. Or an Emperor Bump plus a Spice Must Flow, or Emperor Bump plus second in combat. Unless Tessia has Corner of the Market, and then we're screwed. Because she's currently at 7 points, so... Good news is we were able to keep every alliance away from her, I think. She's also a half a bump away on BG from a point, which is really unfortunate. We really want Research Station. I don't have enough water. I think we do the Probe, even though these are not bad cards. We just need to draw into Kwisatz Gurney and Web of Power, basically. So, cards that aren't those need to go. Tessie is going to go up with BG, it looks like, unless she goes up with Fremen. Go with Fremen would be interesting, right? She can't steal it. No, she can't. Okay, so she does go up with BG. And yeah, see, like, she's shuffling away these Lost Influence. Although, actually, the Guild ones she wasn't able to get off, so that's good. More Intrigue cards is pretty scary because, you know, the more, if she draws Corner of the Market, she wins. So we just have to be really careful. Yuna is threatened on the Guild Alliance. I don't have enough water to get to Highliner. Doesn't protect Guild, which is kind of scary. I wonder if I have to go Fold Space and stop that from happening. Probe, weigh this and this. Okay. So, I mean, I can... This is tricky, right? Because if I go Fold Space, I get nothing for myself, but I do stop Tessia from stealing Yuna's alliance. We don't know where Kynes is. I could also go Selective Breeding and protect myself from the Shifting Allegiances. Let's do Gurney here. That gives us enough water for Research Station, which we can infiltrate. And then if we chose not to Research Station and go Wealth instead, that's a point, and also a point that we can spend for the combat. The problem is we didn't block Tessia from stealing the alliance, but whatever. I think we got to play our own game. We can't just hyper-focus on Tessia, even though she is the person that's going to beat us if we lose. Yeah. What about Mintat? I think Mintat's pretty good here. Problem is it takes us further away from... Okay, just kidding. It's not going to be an option. So now what do we think about Wealth versus Research Station? I guess it depends on what Yuna does with her last action. Baron's not going to beat us in combat, but Yuna hypothetically could. Still no Shifting Allegiances in hand, which is good. She does have enough money for her ring, though. Poor lady said both of her alliances stolen. Arakeen. Okay, so it's going to be a big troop deployment. Although she's not actually high enough to get the extra troops from the track. She's technically below us. So if we math it out, going diplomacy here, that would give us an immediate point, take us to 9. And as long as we get second place in the combat... As long as we get second place in the combat, we get to 10. But Julio has the same amount of spice and Solari as us. And is probably going to buy a Spice Must Flow. Which would also get him to 10. We have more water. If we get 2 points from the combat... Well, I mean, if we go wealth, we get to 11, right? Because we get 1 from the Emperor, we get 1 from the combat, and then we get 1 from spending on the combat. So that does put us ahead of Julio, unless he's got one of those dirty cards. Research Station, though, probably draws us Kwisatz and probably draws us Web of Power. So there's maybe not a trade-off here at all. He's hunting for the corner of the market, I think. Has 2 Spice Must Flows. If I can get to 2, I'll stop him from getting the second point. If he has the card. If he has the card, the game's... I can't win, but... Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Also, if Julio gets third place in the combat, then they'll win the tiebreakers. So we can Kwisatz here. Kwisatz gives us a 50-50 of drawing Web of Power. Web of Power is like 2 points. We can guarantee it if we go to selective breeding. Or Arakeen, which is probably the better one. Then we don't have the Emperor influence. Then we do because we have Web of Power. So we do this. We don't have the Solari from wealth. Tough. It's 50-50, right? Like if we go... This is tough. I don't know what's going to happen here. 7. Okay, cool. Doesn't get the Spice Must Flow. But Baron doesn't seem to be interested in getting third in the combat. I think we win now. I think. So, take a Spice Must Flow. We take an Emperor. Well, this is the tricky thing. So, Julio definitely has 1 more point. But who cares? If we win the combat, we get a point too. At 11, I don't think they can beat us. We don't want to use the withdraw here. I forgot to use the disposal facility. I don't think it matters. We have Julio beat on Spice tiebreaker now. And if we win, we can actually spend the Spice for it. Tactician number 1. Tactician number 2. Cloak and Dagger there. Now, if Yuna has any other combat card, they can tie us and prevent us from getting more points. Problem is, Julio has 3 intrigue cards. Only 2 technologies. So it doesn't have the machine culture. The machine culture got played by Baron. Tessia does have 1 point from plans within plans. I mean, I don't know. It's a Tessia. If she beats me, she beats me. You know? Oh, she's got it. She's got the combat card. Cool. Okay. So we do take the point because it's better than it's better to have a point than have a tiebreaker, right? So go to 12. So she has to basically have 3 in-game points. Not impossible, but I think we got this. She doesn't have 2 from... Cool, she had tiebreaker anyway, so Spice didn't matter. Cool, didn't have it. Dude, I love Helena. I don't know why these Helena versus Tessia rematches keep happening. Like, Helena's so fun, you get to actually, like, play the card aspect of the game. But yeah, 2 combat points, 2 alliance points, 1 Sayyadina point, 2 Spice Miss Flows, the rest of them are faction. Yeah, super fun. Our final deck, I mean, look at this. Appropriate, Sayyadina, Gurney Halleck, Kwisatz, Web of Power. Just an absolute buffet. Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess the question is, with 3 entry cards, was it possible for Tessia to have enough points to beat us? Plans within plans is a point. And Corner of the Market is also 1 point. So that would take her to 11. If she had 11 and then just Grand Conspiracy a point for her, it's got to be, right? Yeah. So if she had Plans Within Plans, Corner of the Market, and Grand Conspiracy, then she would win because she'd beat me on Spice Tiebreaker. That was the only scenario where that would happen. So we were pretty safe at the end there. Yeah. Fun game. MVP card, probably... You could say Sayyadina because it gave me the persuasion to buy Gurney. Or you could say Web of Power because it was Web of Power. Could go either way on that. I value persuasion a lot, so probably I'll say Sayyadina. But either way, it was a fun game. Anyway, see you guys later.